Good morning, Mike and Arlen, our Philippine journey. I'm making this video out of earshot of Arlen. How stupid is my Filipina wife or your partner or whatever? You know something? We need to talk about this, and that is a fact, Jack.
Why'd you have to go? I guess this world's too slow for you. I think there's beauty in the gray, the cold, but you just want the gold. And there's no way I can beat it, cause I got no chance when it comes to her. She got the glitter and the fame, and I just wasn't enough.
Okay. You know, this morning I woke up early. I got everything done I needed to get done. And I was looking at videos. And then I looked at stuff off of my suggested feed. And something dawned on me. Actually, it didn't dawn on me. It's come to my attention on multiple occasions. It is all of the vlogs that are out there. All of these Filipino YouTube channels, these Philippines YouTube channels, talking about how communication is so difficult, how the education differential is so difficult, how getting them to understand you, how they don't pay attention to you, how they don't acknowledge this or don't acknowledge that, or they just go, oh, agree, yes, and they're not. All right? I got to tell you, I am getting so frustrated with these. I just put that on my do not view list, to be honest with you. But it is astounding the number of people that would put videos out like this. And it started to, I used to think, oh, you're just doing it for views, just doing it for clicks, just doing it for drama. All right. That's the only reason they put it out, because everybody likes something that's negative, it seems. Okay? Nah. These people believe in this shit. So let me tell you my view. And let me tell you about my stupid Filipina. And not that anybody has called Arlen that. Not that anybody has said anything. I'm not reacting to a comment or somebody else's vlog. All right? I'm talking about the generalizations that people do. So, one of the biggest ones is they don't understand what you're saying, so they're going to just agree with you. They're going to nod their head and they're going to be happy. I don't know where you find these women. I really don't. Not only do I not know where you find them, well, I know where you find some of them. You're finding them in the bars because that's their business. That's their business. They don't give a shit what you say. They're there to entertain you and make you happy. So that's the easiest thing for them to do. The second thing is many of them are from the province, and their entire grasp of English is not going to be as fluent as you might think it is. But that happens. But in general, no, I disagree with these people. I will tell you right now, Arlen is not stupid by any way, shape, or means. Okay? I didn't fly to the Philippines when Arlen got her spousal visa. Okay? I didn't fly to the Philippines and hold her hand to get to America. I said, book your ticket and come on over. I'll meet you on the other side of customs in LA. Yeah. A stupid person doesn't do that. A stupid person isn't capable of doing that. That shows a mild amount. All right. Arlen lived in the U.S. for almost 3 years. She learned to drive in the U.S. She learned how to bank in the U.S. She learned to shop in the U.S. She learned all of those things. She may not have known how to do those things when she got to the U.S. That's true. But she learned how. And stupid people don't learn. All right? It's that simple. when you listen to people telling you about how stupid Filipinas are, or how they're all out to get you, or all they want is your money, or all of those different negative things, take a good look at their life. Take a good look at them. All right? Were they in a failed relationship? It happens. I am walking proof. All right? And I did it with 2 American women. There are bad women in every country, every culture. To say that that is what Filipino women are like is such a terrible thing to say. When they say that they're not going to disagree with you, that they don't want to face conflict, nobody wants to face conflict, but when necessary, they should. My wife, when necessary, when we don't agree about something, and I don't mean argue, because Arlen and I very rarely argue. I can probably count on one hand the number of times in 12 years we've argued. But being able to question it, maybe 2 things happen here. Perhaps you are selecting or surrounding yourself with a group of Filipinos that haven't yet grown up. And I'm not behooving anybody on age gap relationships, because I'm in an age gap relationship. But there is a difference. There certainly is a difference. And then secondarily, for some of those people, it might be on them. They're bad teachers. They don't know how to have that conversation in a non-confrontational manner. They don't know how to be reasonable. They don't know how to curb their vociferous, is that the right word? Voracious comments towards their Filipino. Tampo. You know something? When somebody's pissed off at you in America, it's the same thing as they're pissed off at you here. No different. Somebody made a mistake. They misunderstood you. You made a mistake. They made a mistake. But there was a mistake that was made. Big deal. Get over it. But to sit there and put all this negativity out there about Filipino women, how their family is going to supersede you, how they can't financially take care of their money, how they live in an environment where it's always borrowing money, that they don't worry about tomorrow's money. Arlen does, that's for sure. Arlen watches exactly. She has a budget. She stays in her budget. She budgets her budget, is the best way I could kind of say it. All right? Are all Filipino women like Arlen? No, but I think that there are plenty of them, more than you would think. Look at the number of Filipina female lawyers, Filipina politicians, Filipina actresses, Filipina doctors, engineers, everything. These are not stupid women. And the more educated they are, the better. It's just that simple. We see so many men just jumping out there into the province. They want to just date these uneducated 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old women. Well, they would have that same problem in the U.S. Now, I would assume they'd have that same problem in Australia, in the UK, but I've never lived there, so I can't comment on that. But I can say, you're talking about a maturity level when you're talking about under 23, 24. All right, for sure. You're talking about a maturity level that's hard to work with. That's not to say that there aren't. There are college graduates at 23 and 24. And I mean college graduates that are smart. They've passed industry standard, national standard testing. All right. There are nurses that have passed the NCLEX. All right. That's the same thing they have to pass in every country. It is the gold standard for nurses. You can't be stupid. You can't blame the Filipino educational system when they're passing that same test that little Susie passed in the US. There are engineers. There are computer programs, PMP graduates. And when I say PMP, I'm not talking about the Philippine police. I'm talking about that's a form of I think it's a security rating knowledge base in computer jargon. Okay, certifications. All of those things being said, quit putting Filipino women down. Own up to the fact that part of the problem is you. Part of the problem could be you. Part of the problem might be them and their maturity level at the time that you've plucked that apple from the tree, for God's sakes. All right? What do you expect? I haven't met, in the US, I never met a 20-year-old rocket scientist, other than my daughter, maybe. Okay, not a rocket scientist, but pretty smart girl. But still, even now, I know what the maturity level of my daughter is. And it ain't perfect by any way, shape, or means. But it's pretty much right around that age range. A little bit more, but then again, she's had a few advantages than a lot of other people. All of these things put together, they make a difference. Why would you think you could just imitate? I mean, they're very nice about how they say how stupid Filipino women are, but that's what they're saying. That's the point they're putting across, and they are not. They certainly are not. Those bar girls, they know how to separate you from your money. They're smart as that. And you pay, or we know people that pay, you may not. Great. All right. Are there scammers out there? For sure. Are there people out there that just don't get it? And we think that there are. We know nobody's perfect. Not all Filipino women are perfect, but maybe you should look in the mirror, or these guys that are complaining should look in the mirror and say, am I part of the problem? Did I not have the patience? Did I not have the vocabulary? Did I not understand? Was I not willing to take the time, all right, to go through the process? It does take a little time sometimes to teach somebody something new, just like you. You didn't learn everything immediately. For those of us that have professional degrees and those of us that are tradesmen, carpenters, plumbers, electricians, you didn't learn that trade and everything about it. And you didn't learn your profession and everything about it overnight. You had to learn it. All right? Just like they have to learn it. And if you are like me, you had good professors and bad professors, people that could teach and people that couldn't teach. Are you one of those that can't teach? Or not you, but are these people one of those that can't teach? Aren't you sick and tired of seeing these horror stories about how bad they are, about how you don't recognize how little Filipinos care about you in a relationship, that the relationship is only just about money, all right? That there's no intelligence or intellectual level involved. I have deep conversations with my wife quite often. We went out to breakfast this morning and we had a very deep conversation about a subject not related to this at all. These things being said, and it's not just always book smart. There are those that are life smart, okay? But in general, and I say in general, what do you expect? All right? If you want to date a woman, you know what? I challenge you to hit her with a conversation that you do on purpose that you know she cannot understand, and see if she will ask you questions. See if she will actually say, I don't know. I don't understand. What do you mean? Okay? And if they aren't willing to do that, it's time to move on. All right? It's time to let them get a little older, perhaps. Perhaps you just picked the wrong one. I'm tired of it. Enough of my rant. Look, I really appreciate everybody dropping by. We hope you have a great day. Be safe.